Hey, if you're out there and you're listening to this, um, I just want to give everyone a recap, both of, I guess, things that have been happening and the way I feel, because it's all pretty confusing to me right now. Um, so I'm kind of losing track of time. I don't remember if I shot this morning. I'm pretty sure I did. Um, Last night, because I knew tonight I would be working out of town, and I didn't know if um, I would be sleeping at home tonight. Um, I asked her if it would be okay if I slept in the bed last night. She said she didn't mind. She didn't care. It wasn't about, you know, doing anything physical. It wasn't like that at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure we stayed in the same bed last night, but we didn't, touch each other. I mean, it wasn't about that. It was about feeling the closeness. At least it was for me. Um, so it was the first time in a long time that I was actually able to sleep until 4 o'clock. Just to give everyone an idea, I normally wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, because it's really the only time I have chance to work out. I know I'm not the most physically fit human specimen in the world, but trust me, I was a lot bigger once upon a time, like a lot bigger. So I do a little mild workout every morning. I wake up at 4. I work out. I take care of some work related stuff. I get in the shower, then I go home. And then honestly, I've added shooting these videos first thing in the morning. So this morning, I actually had a chance to wake up at 4 instead of waking up at 2:30 like I had been for the last few weeks. I mean, last few days. Um, and after I worked out, um, I went into her room, and again, I want to create as much separation as possible. One, because I don't want her to feel uncomfortable. And two, I feel like the separation should be able to at least help me get my mind straight. So I worked out, she was awake. Actually, that's what happened. I finished working out about the same time she woke up to use the restroom. I needed to get some water, so I went downstairs to get some water. And she got some leftover salad. I'm guessing she woke up hungry. So she went upstairs, sat in bed to eat salad, and I sat on the nightstand. I don't think I tried to initiate on any conversation. I just like to drive home the point that if she wants to talk, I'm right here. So she started talking. I listened. I wanted to make sure she finished talking, so I didn't reply to anything she said until I felt like there was a long enough pause for me to start talking. And then it something just came over me where I once again felt like I wanted to talk to her about my feelings. I don't talk about my feelings. I've talked to her a lot about my feelings in the last couple of days, and quite frankly, I don't like talking about my feelings, or I hadn't liked talking about my feelings until I started talking to you guys, or nobody, because maybe nobody's out there. It doesn't really matter to me. It's giving me the opportunity to talk. And of course, to follow the theme of the purpose of these videos is, I know nobody's out there, but if you're watching this, God, I really hope you don't know me, because I've been pouring my soul out for a very long time. Well, for at least a week now. So I started talking to her about how I felt, how, once again, I can't worry about the outcome of what's going on right now, because I need to be able to work on me, but I feel I'd like to think that if she would have brought, you know what, no. For some reason, even though I know nobody's going to watch this, I didn't want to talk about the extent of our damaged relationship. We got back from Costa Rica. When we were in Costa Rica, I felt like something was wrong with both of us. So when we got back, I felt like that was one of the first moments I felt like something was going on, and I wanted to bring the magic back. So I wanted to start doing nice things. Stuff that I'd already done in the past, but something that I didn't really do that much of. Now keep in mind, we don't really cook that much. Most of our food comes from DoorDash. We don't use too many dishes, but when we use dishes, they kind of have a tendency to pile up, and then every Saturday or Sunday, I'd unload the dishwasher and load the dishwasher and run the dishes. But, it'd been a long time since I cooked pretty regular. So I would empty the dishwasher first, prepare the food, cook the food, put everything I used in the dishwasher, serve the food on plates, and when we're done eating, put the plates in the dishwasher, turn the dishwasher on. If there were clothes in the dryer, I would hang the clothes. If there's piles of laundry, I would do the laundry. I cleaned, I vacuumed the floors, I cleaned the bathroom. I did all of these things because I wanted her to feel like she didn't have to do everything. I tried to think of all of the things that she liked because I wanted to be able to get thoughtful gifts. Not because I wanted to buy her affection, but because I wanted to try to be thoughtful. I wanted to get her stuff that I knew she would like. I complimented her. I sent her text messages while she was at work about how special she was. I did all of these things, and I felt like she was getting further and further away. So one day while I was at work, it was last Wednesday, I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't do it without talking about it. So while I was at work, I called her and I asked her if she loved me, and she said yes. And I asked her if she's felt unhappy with our relationship, and she said yes. I asked her if she was in love with me, and she said no. And I asked her why. And she replied with, "I don't know." I knew at that moment that I needed to try to find ways to get her to fall in love with me again, because I'm absolutely in love with her. Called my boss, told him I'd be going home a little bit early, and then I left. So when I got home, she looked really angry at me. And I asked her if everything was okay. And she asked me if I'd been in her phone. And I told her yes. I sent her like a 20-page text message that morning, and I didn't want her to read that in a text message. I wanted to talk to her about it. It was basically, what I talked to her about on the phone. So that morning before I left for work, I grabbed her phone, I looked for the text message, and I deleted the text message because I knew I wanted to be able to talk to her. And then she asked me if I'd seen anything on her phone that would make her upset, that would make me upset. And I said, no. What's wrong? And she said she had a friend on Facebook, and she thought I'd read a message from him and called him or messaged him telling him that he needs to stop talking to my wife. And at the time, my mind was like, no, I didn't do any of that. That's silly. I'm not that guy. And then she started crying. She didn't cry about when I was asking her if she felt like our relationship, if she wasn't in love with me anymore, but she cried that someone that was on her friends list on Facebook blocked her. And I didn't know what I was feeling, so she started crying, saying she wished she was dead. And anybody who is absolutely in love with somebody else, when the person they love is crying, saying they wish they were dead, you don't think of anything else other than that person crying, saying they wish they were dead. And I wanted to do stuff that made her feel good. So I gave her a hug. We got in the car. We went to go get some Thai food. And then we went to the bookstore. And then we came home and we went to bed. Thursday I went to work. And it dawned on me that she was more upset about someone blocking her on Facebook than me asking her if she was still in love with me. Came home that night, and of course she's an evening nurse, and she worked that evening shift. And I couldn't talk to her. So I tried to ignore it, and I went to bed, and I woke up at 2:30 in the morning because I had a dream that my dog ran away. And I woke up, my heart was beating fast. I threw on my Apple Watch, and it said my heart was beating 149 beats per minute. And I messaged her telling her that I just woke up, I'm wide awake, I had a weird dream, my heart rate is insane. And she said, maybe you have blank. I said, no, I think I'm feeling anxious. Because I didn't know what anxiety was. She does, she has experience. Then I messaged her back. I said, I think I'm anxious because I feel like you believe this relationship is over. You believe that our relationship is beyond repair, that you've met somebody else. She replied with, well, you're not wrong. So I started asking the questions. When did you meet somebody else? Why would you try to meet somebody else? What's I don't understand. And that's when she told me that she felt emotionally unfulfilled, and she has been unfulfilled for a very long time. She assured me that there'd been no romantic contact between the two of them, but she was developing feelings for him. I asked her again if she felt like the relationship was over, and she said yes. I asked her for a favor, and I said, hey, if you truly believe you have feelings for somebody else, can you do me a favor? Can you if I drafted a separation agreement, and because we don't have children, the separation only needs to be for 6 months. Can you just not date anybody for 6 months so we can try to work this out? And she replied with, I don't understand the point. So I asked her if I could talk to her a little bit more when she got out of work. And she said yes. Now, something that she didn't know. When we got back from Costa Rica, I wanted to plan something special. Obviously, I didn't know what was going on. My initial plan was that she would come home from work, we would eat breakfast, and then she would sleep. Normally when she sleeps, she wakes up at 4 or 5 o'clock. I was going to surprise her with gift certificates to Hot Yoga House, and I'd never been, so I was going to go with her because it's something that she liked and I wanted to enjoy something with her. We were going to get some dinner, we were going to come home, and I was going to play her a video, and that's generally the first video I posted on YouTube, which I've since taken down. But the video would be every picture she and I have taken together over the course of the last 8 years. And because I felt like the magic was gone and the initial proposal was absolute garbage, the very last slide in the video said, and I'm not going to say her name, but it said her name, will you marry me again? I was going to be on one knee and I was going to be holding up her engagement ring. And those were my plans. So, normally she leaves work and she gets home at 8 o'clock in the morning. 8 o'clock came, she wasn't here. 8:30 came, she wasn't here. 8:45, I finally messaged her and asked her when she was coming home. She said, I'm not quite ready. I asked her what she was doing. She said she was sitting in the parking lot at work talking on the phone. I asked her when she would be home. She said, I don't know, a couple of hours. So to clear my mind, keep in mind, I'd already planned on being off half of the day. I'd already messaged my boss by that point and said I'm going to have to take the entire day off. So I left the house. Clear my mind, and I called her around 11 o'clock. She had just been getting home, and I was maybe 20 minutes away. I asked her if she'd be willing to stay awake until I got home so we can talk. She said, I don't know if there's anything we need to talk about. I said, just please humor me. I want to know. So I got home, and I asked her where she was. She said she was with him. They were just getting coffee and they were just talking, but she was with him. So I told her exactly how I felt. I told her that I don't understand. And then I kept feeling like this was my fault. So I started coming up with ways that we can fix it. But her face never changed. Her face stayed just like this. No happiness, no sadness, no anger, no regret. She didn't respond to anything I said. Before she got home that day, I moved all of my stuff into the other room because I had intentions of sleeping in another room because I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable. When she didn't respond to anything I said, I left the house. I came back a few hours later. Honestly, I don't even remember what I did. I remember leaving. I remember getting in the car. I don't remember where I went. But I came home a couple hours later, and I laid down in the bed in the other room. And after about 10 minutes, she came in the room and said, I don't want to sleep in different beds. And that made me feel good. And then I asked her where she went that morning, and she told me again, I went to drink coffee with that guy. And I genuinely wanted to know. I was like, well, does he know about me? She said yes. It's like, did you talk to him about me? She said yes. What did he say? She said she claimed that he said that she needs to try to work it out with me. I asked her if that's what she wanted, and her reply was, it would be stupid if she didn't try. What the heck kind of answer is that? So we talked it out as best we could, and I decided that I was going to sleep in the room and that we would try to work it out. And I spent a few days trying to reignite some kind of flame, and it felt really good. But then she went to work. I was alone in bed, and I couldn't think straight. I went to work again, and then I came home and we talked, and it felt good. This morning, and yesterday morning, I talked to her about how I felt. And then she said that she feels alone, and she's always felt alone, or she always feels alone. And then she started crying. So I'm sitting on the nightstand. I got off the nightstand, I walked around the bed. I didn't lay in the bed because, again, with my process, I don't want to lay in the bed with her, not while I'm holding her. But I knelt down on the bed and I held her. And I told her to just let it out, that she's not alone and everything's going to be okay. And we cried together easily for 15, 20, 30 minutes. She told me she was done crying and that she needed me to go to work. She told me that she wasn't going to be at home tonight because Well, she said she was going to be home tonight, and I asked her the first question that came to mind because she hadn't told me anything. She said, I asked her, are you going to be on a date? She said no. It's her friend's brother's birthday, and she was going to go to dinner with them and then maybe spend the night over there. Now, of course, because of what she's done, my brain wouldn't allow me to trust her. But it's what she was saying. And I left it alone. And I felt like because the two of us shared a moment and a connection this morning, that things were at least kind of okay. I sent her a text message and she didn't respond. And then when I got out of work to go to this other work-related event, I called her and she didn't answer. Earlier that day around 3:30, I got a notification saying that the garage door had opened and then it was closed by her. She called me back around 5:30 saying that she just left the house and she was on her way to the restaurant for her friend's brother's birthday. And I was like, you just left the house? And she said, yeah. Well, I love her. I'm in love with her and I want to trust her, but I needed to know why I got a notification saying the garage was open 2 hours prior and she said she was just leaving the house. Of course, my brain went to worst case scenario. So I asked her. She said, I don't know why you got a notification saying the garage door opened. I'm pulling out of the driveway right now. I have no reason to believe that she was lying to me. And of course, she got upset. And I said, look, I'm having trust issues right now. Although I have a good reason to have trust issues, my trust issues right now aren't your problem. I told her I really hope I didn't bum her out too much and I hope she has a good time. I hung up the phone. Because I needed to validate or invalidate my trust issues, I pulled up the driveway camera and sure enough, she left at 5:30 and not 3:30. And the sudden feeling of knowing I probably did something to push her away even further hit me. After a few hours, I started realizing that I'm apologizing for something I didn't do. Could I have been there for her a little bit more emotionally? Yes. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but at the same time, I feel like I did something wrong. She claims she didn't physically cheat. She didn't do anything romantic with this guy. But at the end of the day, emotionally, she cheated on me. Instead of telling me that she felt unhappy, she found comfort in somebody else. She worked with this guy once, twice a week, and in her words, with the intentions of being his friend because she doesn't have any friends, and started developing feelings with him because she was messaging him every day, every night. She did this. So why do I feel like this is my fault? Why do I keep asking myself, what could I have done different? Why do I keep asking myself, what can I do different now so that she falls back in love with me? Knowing that if she doesn't want to fall in love with me, she's not going to. Knowing that somebody told her that she should try to work it out. And it wasn't her idea. Why do I even want to be with somebody who cheated on me? I know the answer, but how do I stop feeling this way? How do I fall out of love with somebody? I'm not an unattractive guy. I get hit on a lot. I get given phone numbers that I immediately throw away because I'm in love with somebody. Why hasn't she apologized for what she's done? Why hasn't she told me that it's never going to happen again? Why is she still friends with this guy on Facebook? And why, if she's not willing to sever ties with this guy, if she's not willing to give 100% to our relationship, why am I still trying? If you know how I feel, and you know what the right thing to do is, please put in the comments. I need help. This video is easily 5 times longer than any video I've ever shot. The odds of anyone having watched this video are very slim. The odds of anyone having watched this video to the very end are impossible. But if there's anyone out there, please, dear God, talk back.